Welcome to the Oasis State podcast. Cheers for tuning in. This podcast is dedicated to educating and empowering women to step into their self-love infused power. As a woman, there are so many nuances that influence our relationship with self. Join me as I share my personal experiences with and deep understanding of mindset development, energetics, and self-mastery. I will help you deconstruct societal conditioning and your own outdated beliefs through a lighthearted, playful lens of perception. I will introduce you to tools that will help you redefine your interaction with life, powerfully manifest your wildest dreams, and enjoy every step along the way. Let this podcast guide and support you as you make the commitment to remember your magic within. This is your self-empowerment pep talk. Hello. Welcome back to episode 2 of the Oasis Estate podcast. My name is Zoe Rose Carey and I'm your host. Firstly, thanks again for tuning in, guys. Appreciate you so much. I hope you found some value from the first episode, and yeah, baby, we are just getting started. So let's dive straight into episode 2. Actually, firstly, I wanted to make a note. I have set the intention for this podcast to be a support and a guide for women on their self-empowerment journey, but by no means do I just want my listening audience to be females. I feel like there's a lot of areas we're going to jump into where men can also relate to. Or if you've got a supportive partner or a brother or a dad or someone that you feel would benefit from listening to this podcast as a way to better understand you, to understand their journey, please let them know about this podcast. Like I said, it is aimed at women, but our self-empowerment journey is for everyone, is honestly for everyone. And there are a few differences with men's journey and females' journey, but I think there's a lot we can learn from each gender. And obviously we both have, every individual has masculine and feminine energy within themselves. So there's a lot to learn from a women's self-empowerment journey and a man's and every individual's, because it's completely unique. And it's just about finding the right tools and community and solitude and practices to create that self-awareness for your own beautiful journey. So I just firstly wanted to say that. So let's get started on today's topic. It's why the fuck are we here sort of thing. I feel like anyone who's had that line in the sand moment that I was speaking about in the previous episode of, those big, scary existential questions of why are we here? What am I doing? There's got to be more to life, this and this and that. They're very incredibly exciting questions, but equally as terrifying to try and digest. Our tiny little baby egoic mind, and I mean tiny in relation to the rest of our holistic intelligence. Our tiny little mind struggles to comprehend these really abstract existential questions. I feel like when you're asking these questions, picture a funnel. So obviously a funnel starts with the top. The top bit is the widest section, the largest circumference, and then it slowly winds its way down in an angle to the pointiest end. So when you're at the top of the start of your spiritual journey, I suppose you can call it, your self-mastery journey, your raising your conscious awareness. There's a lot of different terms for it. Whichever one floats your boat, go with that. You'll start asking these questions. What am I here for? What am I doing? And coming back to the theme of celebrating our uniqueness, that question will be different for everyone. And then in my experience, you'll be answering that question differently at different parts and points of your life. As I mentioned, I've done 2 university degrees. I started doing exercise science and started actively working in the health science field. and then obviously evolved as a person and realized that this area and career focus didn't suit me anymore. And unlike a lot of other people that will just hang on to something that doesn't serve them anymore, I've always been quite good at just releasing it and moving on, knowing that there's something better coming. So I did exercise science, and then I had a gap year, went traveling, did amazing, had amazing experiences, did amazing things. Came back and did my marine biology degree. Got right into conservation. I've always been conservationally inclined, let's call it that. My beautiful, gorgeous mother is an eco warrior, and she's always taught me from day dot yeah, to be conscientious and connect to nature and educate myself about nature. So, yeah, at the time, in my late 20s, that degree and career path aligned with me. And then, of course, as you know, I'm showing up for my self mastery and self evolution journey every day. Um, a few years later, that didn't serve me anymore, and I decided to go down the realm of um, creating my own business, getting myself out of the system, out of the machine. I didn't want to be a cog in anyone else's machine. I wanted to do things my way. And I took a step back from traditional work and started attracting streams of income where I am the boss. So I digress, but I am just pointing out that once you commit to your self mastery journey, that question of what am I here to do? What is my purpose? Who am I? Will change all the time. So don't stress if you can't answer it. Don't stress if the answer changes. I even like, so yeah, that's the top of the funnel, as I mentioned. And I believe there is a common denominator with that, the answer to that question for everyone. And the underlying common denominator and tone of answering that question is we are here to love and to learn. So we are spirits or souls, again, whatever term you'd like to use. We are souls in this meat suit, which is our body, here experiencing life. Why are we experiencing life? Apart from experiencing joy and love, we're here to learn as well. So the mission of the soul is to evolve, and how we evolve is by growing through challenges, through highs, through lows, etc. So we are here to love and to learn. Unfortunately, I believe the quite a large majority of our collective human population completely misunderstands how to love. Um, and I mean in the sense that we have all learned to love conditionally. And this is completely 100% backwards about and a backwards, unnatural way to um, to love. Sorry, I'm getting distracted. Just learning this whole podcasting thing. But now I'm back. Sorry, can't do two things at once. I've learnt my lesson. um, we are here to love unconditionally, but as a human population, we have learnt to love conditionally. So, loving conditionally means that whether consciously or subconsciously, you have set out the energy, the behaviors, the expectations that I want this person to do X, Y, and Z, and then they will receive my love. Or I want them to do A, B, and C, and then they can continue to have my love. Does this sound familiar? Absolutely so fine if you're like, oh, fuck, that's been me before. I still catch myself on doing it too because, yeah, as we're not really taught these things, it's not like, a subject at high school about how to love and how to live with an open heart. And um, yeah, as I mentioned in the first episode, love and power are the same thing. So without power, we cannot open our hearts, and with no power, our love is completely distorted. So if you are not committing to your empowerment journey as a woman, you will be loving conditionally. You'll be loving. I don't want to say incorrectly, but conditionally. Let's just keep it like that. You'll be loving conditionally. You will be experiencing more suffering in the realm of love and your interactions, whether they're intimate, professional, personal, all of that, than you need to. When you step into your power as the gorgeous, amazing, empowered goddess that you are, you learn to live with an open heart. And by living with an open heart, you're learning to live unconditionally. So you're learning to love that person. Oh, sorry, something in my mouth. You're learning to love that person unconditionally, rain, hail, or shine. Of course, I'm not being an advocate for any form of serious abuse, whether verbal, physical, emotional, or anything. There is a line there, but when you are in your power, you just will not stand for any of that kind of abuse. So again, love and power are intertwined. And if you are putting up, say, with something in a relationship you shouldn't, whether it's just, yeah, abuse or something not as sinister, it's a sign you're not in your power. So once you've stepped into your power, you're living with an open heart and living unconditionally. So you are accepting everyone around you as they are. This is the most freeing experience in the entire world. And it's incredible to observe the shifts in energy of people around you when you just simply observe and love and send them intentional love, not unintentional, sorry, intentional love just for who they are. You'll find that you are verbalizing your love more. You've got more acts of love that you are choosing to give out, and you would be receiving a lot more. And it's basically just a very freeing experience for yourself. One, to love yourself unconditionally, and two, to start loving the people around you unconditionally. So, say loving yourself unconditionally is you have been really on top of your daily rituals and meditating every day, and then you fall off the bandwagon with it. Love yourself enough and unconditionally to not beat yourself up when you inevitably fall off the path with that habit. It's okay. We are human. We are here. We are learning. As I mentioned, we are here to love and we are here to learn. So, learning to love yourself unconditionally is an act of compassion, towards yourself. You're just so much easier on yourself. But again, it comes back to having that power, because you're easy on yourself when you make a mistake or you have a setback, but you have enough power, you're aligned with enough innate power within you to learn that that setback is inevitably going to be a comeback. And that failure is a failure forward, and you're going to learn from it, and you're going to move forward, and you're going to love yourself more from that. So, do you see that difference of conditional love is very cagey, it's very unnatural, it's very disempowered love for yourself. So if you love yourself conditionally, it's like, I only love myself when I've been to the gym 5 times a week, or I've got a full face of makeup on, or 10 friends message me that day, or I eat well, or I get 12 hours sleep. You can kind of see where I'm going with this. You set these conditions, whether consciously or subconsciously, regarding how to love yourself, or when you're going to allow yourself to receive your own love. And then these habits, these conditional love habits, then start seeping out into your relationships, and you start loving your partner or your parents, your colleagues, everything, your pets, even conditionally. And unless old mate does the dishes, he's not going to get a cuddle that night, or it's not going to be a soft, loving, open environment. So cut yourself some slack, cut everyone else around you some slack, step into your power, open your heart, and start loving people unconditionally. It is honestly so transformational. All right, the other part of our soul's mission, our human experience, is to learn. As I mentioned before, once you step into your power, you start realizing that setbacks and quotation marks failures are actually an opportunity for a comeback, an opportunity to learn, an opportunity to grow, expand, evolve. And I always have so much gratitude for the really annoying things that happen in my life, because I always know there's just going to be this incredible lesson from it. Even when I'm so thick in something and I just feel like I'm absolutely drowning in whatever lesson I'm being thrown, or confusion, I'm so grateful for it, because I know there's always this plateau, this like aha moment, this moment where you just, sometimes it's an action, sometimes it's a surrender, and sometimes not knowing what's going on, or being given a quotation marks challenge, is just a lesson from the universe to just learn to live life without that universal guidance all the time. It's okay to just be. We're in a society that is so obsessed with putting our sense of value and worthiness on function, on what we're doing all the time. And this is a lesson, oh boy, I've had to learn so many times. But sometimes it's just about being, just about surrendering and learning, but not, I don't mean sit down, write notes, understand why every single trigger is happening to you, etc. Just learn by being in the moment. Just be extra grateful. Take a deeper breath. Look at the sky. Smile at a stranger. Like that's learning as well. That's love and that's learning. So that is what I believe is the common denominator around the question, why the fuck are we here? Why the fuck are we here is to love and to learn every single day. Show up and do it again. That's all we can ever do. And if you think about when the unique response to that question comes along of my purpose is to be a mentor, my purpose is to help the elderly, my purpose is, etc. At the end of the day, all of that purpose or fulfillment or how people are choosing to spend their time when they are committed to their self-empowerment journey, the common undertone of that unique purpose is to love and to learn. Your soul is still loving and your soul is still learning the entire time. And yeah, I just hope that you, by me sharing that insight, it just allows you to cut yourself some slack, hey? I just feel like, oh man, we always take life so seriously all the time. We're always looking for a meaning of something, or, there's people that are just so obsessed with healing that they never actually show up to enjoy life, like just do way less. For anyone that needs to hear that, please, for the love of God, just do so much less. Just practice the art of being, practice the art of love and learning, and just don't take life so seriously, okay? We're here for the human experience. It's happening whether you like it or not. It's just whether you want to consciously show up and do it rather than unconsciously be thrown around on this wild life roller coaster and not understand that beautiful connection we have between our inner power, our inner oasis, and our external experience. So whether you like it or not, we're always interacting with life. It's amazing though, because we have a choice whether we want to interact with it. So I urge you to go about your day or reflect on where you're at in your life right now and ask yourself the question, are you loving and are you learning? That'll be a really good reference point and a starting point for you to figure out where you are in your self mastery journey. Checking in with yourself. What's your relationship with yourself like? And again, I urge you, please don't get too heavy with this, okay? Like our our little egoic but incredibly complex mind just needs to have an answer all the time, and it's okay if you don't. This leads me to another massive thing I think we all need to be doing with our human experience. Very like, again, at the top of the funnel, the very broad bit of our human experience is play. When was the last time you played? I think we all get so obsessed with measuring the success of our week or day or whatever through the productive things we did, how much we got off our to do list or how much we achieved at work. And I invite you to start scaling your days on a success scale by how much play you have, how many smiles you give to a random down the street. Do you go for a surf? Do you have a dance in the kitchen with your partner? Do you get your crayons out and draw? So playing just means there's no end result. It's just the most uplifting, energetic thing you can do for yourself. And I think it's obviously very traditionally reserved for children, but we need to be playing up until the moment we transition out of this life. It is honestly therapy. So I encourage you to spend more time, if you're not already, playing. And your definition of playing will be completely different to everyone. So get creative with it, because actually, when you start playing a bit more, it strengthens your imagination. So it might feel uncomfortable at first. Just step tiny little steps out of your comfort zone, but I encourage you to just do something silly. Like I said, even if it's in the shower, put your music on in the corner and just have a little boogie and just Not a choreographed dance, just an unorganized movement. Just let your soul kind of move through your body and play and have a giggle. Like, sometimes if I just have nothing left in the tank, I'll jump on YouTube and I'll watch, like, the funniest things on YouTube. Well, they're funny for me, but, like, funny dog compilations, and, like, there's this channel called Fail Army, and it's just people, like, doing dumb shit and failing at it. It's so funny, like, trying to do a jump on a bike and then the front wheel breaks or something like that, and it's just that's play for me sometimes if I'm absolutely rooted, like, I'm so tired or I've got my period or something like that, and I just wanna check out. um, I will, yeah, pop something on YouTube, just something completely silly and lighthearted, and it just allows me to have that little giggle and remind myself that it's a part of the human experience not to take life so seriously. I tell you what, those people that some of those people that are trying the stunts or the really stupid stuff on the Fail Army compilations are definitely not taking life too seriously, and it's admirable. It's really, really inspiring. So, yeah, I'd love to hear from you. I'll leave my contact details in, like, the bottom of this episode. So reach out to me if you want any help figuring out how to play or any suggestions or recommendations about how to play. I'd love to hear from you and be able to share them with the community. And also just love any feedback about how the episodes are going. Like I said, I'm just winging it and I just want to get it out there. So hopefully the message is being received, and all of the technical stuff I will figure out as we're going. So my name's Zoe Carey. This is the Oasis State podcast, and thank you so much for listening. Until next time, sending all my love.